So of course your kids, you go and eat shit, and then you go and stare out the window.
Heads up.
Oh, okay. By the way, I just saw somebody do this outside, and they were too far away for me to yell at them about this. I hope that you all are classy enough not to do this. But there was some guy who actually looked over the side and then spit down from up here on the third. That is fucking rude. Do not do that. You know. Good Lord, how awful can you be? I mean, just if you see somebody, smack him on the back of the head. You know. Tell him Jahnel said it was okay. You know, smack him on the back of the head. How could you spit off the third story? And you know, it's unhygienic. It's gross.
Disrespectful.
Airborne, yeah, all those things. You know, God, the wind pick it up. You know,
It's illegal too.
probably, but
Public building is illegal. Yep.
I try not to spit off my private buildings either. You know, and you know I don't go up in front of my roof and say, "Oh, it needs watering." You know, but can't believe someone would do that. Anyway, so the thing was the flexibility of steel was huge. And if you think about it, I mean, how many of you all have ever seen like New York City from the air or ever been to New York City? Okay, can you imagine what New York City would be like if they had limited it to 3 stories high? Think about how big that would be. I mean, it's like fucking taking over Canada, you know? At 3 stories, will be low to the ground but wide. And that whole idea of actually building up instead of building out. But think about the densities of population. Think of how it changes our workspaces, our living spaces, the very idea of urbanification, all of which steel was a precursor. Now, the irony is, even though William Kelly is the first one to actually come up and patent the idea in the United States, he doesn't get the credit. And this is where I was talking about the importance of the inventor thing. Because while he could come up with a working model, he never was able to really get the funding and get it moving. Within a couple of years, somebody who had no idea what he was doing in England came up with almost exactly the same process named Bessemer. And Bessemer, actually, you probably have heard of the Bessemer steel process, and that's what we even call it today. And Bessemer came up with almost the exact same idea, except he got the funding, and the only way that he found out about it was because he was running a successful steel business, he decided to apply for the patent in America so he could expand his business into the United States. And lo and behold, he applies the patent. What does he find out? It had been invented a couple of years before. You know, of course, Kelly finding out that there's somebody making steel with a process that he had invented earlier, and of course is making tons of money. He does that most American of things, which is sues him. You know, and indeed, actually, the lawsuit is finally settled. Kelly gets money, but the process is still today referred to as the Bessemer process. And in part, it just reminds us that in these ages, you had to be not just the guy with the ideas and the ability to engineer it, but also the person to market it as well. And so the Bessemer process reminds us of that. By 1860, the U.S. Patent Office had issued over 36,000 patents. But it's interesting, it was around that year that the head of the U.S. Patent Office appeared before Congress. And you know how they're going to say, oh, we can cut that, we don't need this anymore, blah, blah, bullshit, you know, oh, it's all this wasteful spending and all this. We even have commissions right now that are, it's interesting, we hire commissions for people to figure out ways to, and spend money on people to figure out ways for them not to spend money. It's strange. Anyway, but the point was that the head of the patent office came and testified before Congress. He said, soon you would be able to eliminate my job because everything that has ever been invented yet has now been invented. And the only things that are going to happen are small improvements on processes that have now been established. So soon you can get rid of the patent office. This ends up being one of the more fucking stupid things anybody's ever said, you know. Now, not the most stupid thing. There have been lots of stupid things that have been said, particularly prognosticators. Always watch for these people who are like, you know. And we can make funny ones about modern day politicians, but they sound like I was picking on one party or the other. But let me go for some old school ones, or even ones that are not politically based. Yes, questions?
What was the name again of the guy who said that
Oh, I actually have to think of his name. I got to think about it. He was the head of the patent office, yeah. And give me a second, I'm going to come. His name's so forgettable, I don't even remember it now. But, okay, yeah, but it was the funniest thing. Oh my God. But you can look up the quote too, because it's one of those great ones. There's a whole series of quotes. Bill Gates once said the most RAM any computer would need was 16K. 16K. A single blank Microsoft Word document is bigger than 16K nowadays. But that was his prognostication. At one time, the head of IBM Computers said the largest market for computers in the world would be 3 computers, and that would be it. There would only be 3 computers ever sold at any time in the world. He was wrong by a small factor. Now, mind you, to be fair, at the time he was saying this, what did they mean by computers? Well, what was a computer in those days?
Those big, like 20 feet long.
Yeah, it was roomfuls of machines that ran on paper tape and other sorts of things with punch card inputs and required vast amounts of air conditioning and all this. It was a very different kind of thing. It is frightening to think these machines, which I saw as kids. I mean, I worked on machines that I was just after the punch card era, though I actually played with some punch cards, but I just saw them as a kid. I didn't actually do any inputs on them. But I got to play on the original TRS-80s and all this, which included a tape drive where they were actually recording things on the cassette tape. And that was your hard drive with the cassette tape.
Wow.
Ooh, that was zippy, I'll tell you, so it was kind of cool in order to see how much it's changed, iPad. Anyway, not a tape drive. But anyway, that was kind of cool. Huh? No, because at that time I might still have one of the punch cards from when I was in Greeley. Greeley, we were at this gifted, talented summer school camp, and they let us go there. And I think that they let us each take a used punch card home.
Look up ENIAC or Brainiac.
Oh yeah, ENIAC was ENIAC was like oh my god, that was the computer. It was crazy.
And about as big as this room.
Yeah, they were insane. And then actually the input room where they had it was like a typewriter, but it was actually one that actually punched the holes in the card so you could give the instructions for the computer. It was really interesting. These are it's early computer technology. Anyway, sorry, memory lane. Let me walk it. Okay, anyway, lots of stupid things that people have said about it. One last kind of fun, stupid one just to toss out because it'll amuse you. In 1928, Herbert Hoover is elected to office, and Hoover then says in his inaugural in March of 1929, "We are closer to the defeat of poverty than any other nation in the world at any time. There will be a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage." And of course, by October, yes, in October, the stock market crashed in the Great Depression when there were no more cars, garages, chickens, or pots. So well done, Hoover. Sorry. Poor old Hoover. He gets more blame. We'll talk about that later. Hoover gets more blame than he deserves, although he had his own problems. But still, it's kind of funny. But anyway, so there lots of sort of funny stuff on that. But now let me transfer over and let me talk about machines and technologies by theme rather than chronologically, because all these are post-Civil War machines that I want to talk about now. And I want to talk about their societal effects, so I'm going to group them together. Let me start with Elias Howe and the sewing machine. Elias Howe created the first sewing machine, which became popularized by a guy named Isaac Singer. In fact, even today, when you think sewing machine, you tend to say almost entirely the Singer sewing machine because it almost seems synonymous with it. Now, the sewing machine, don't ask me how it works. To me, it's magic. Okay, I don't understand because I have hand sewn shit, and I know that the needle goes in and then goes down and goes up and goes down. Fuck, it's all on one side. I don't know. It's like elves, I don't know. People have explained it to me how it works. It's magic. That's my only. Don't please explain it to me. It's magic. I like it that way. I like that the elves create it. See, if I had invented the sewing machine, I would have had pneumatic tubes that were in circles, or arcs. And then the needle will go, and that would be a sewing machine. And then you can always tell, we actually genderize machines, like we say some machines are guy machines and some are girl machines. The way you can tell if a tool or machine is a guy or a girl tool if you have ever seen somebody killed with it in a horror movie,